And... good. Yay. Things are thinking. It is cold in my room. Send these. Send. Send. And send. Alrighty, a little closest. No joke. I will probably lay down after stream. I am pretty sick. It was cold in my room. It was pretty bad. Alright. YouTube, stop tubing it. There we go. Cut it out. Alrighty. Now let me close that. Alrighty. God, my hands are cold. So I really like doing the Black Ops map tier list. I liked it a lot. It was very fun going through, talking about all those maps again. So we're going to do the same for Call of Duty Ghost. Why Call of Duty Ghost? Because believe it or not, that's the game I'm the most familiar with after Black Ops 2. As weird as that will sound to some people. Have I seen the Yugi mod? Kind of. It's popped up and I've ignored it several times because I don't play Fighter Z, so I don't really care. You told me about it. Meow sent it. It's popped up in my recommended. I am not interested. I don't play that game. I don't really care for that game. It's that simple. You would think I would be interested in it because I'm interested in Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm interested in Dragon Ball, but no, I don't really care for fighters. Also, it's like genuinely shocking to a lot of people when I say I'm not interested in something, how much I actually fucking mean it. That actually reminds me, I actually, I downloaded, I think it's Hyper Dragon Ball Z, which is a fan-made fighting game. I should try that out on stream just to, like, dick around. Yes, this got us. Let me double look at it here. Yeah, I have Hyper Dragon Ball Z here. And Sonic Smackdown. I need to play Sonic Smackdown on stream. Maybe I should do that next time. I want to do a bunch of fun. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Next week we're doing all fighting games. Like, no joke. I have so many like weird ass, random ass fighting games that I want to play. We're doing nothing but fighting games next week. Fuck it. We'll start off the new year by throwing hands. Bless the world with Lunar Trigger. No! We're not bullying them with Kamen Rider. Yet. Oh, yay. But yeah, like, no joke, I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3 that I have that were like fan projects. I have several that I have not played on stream yet that I just want to like talk about because they're funny. There's a couple of ones I want to talk about. All-Star Battle R. Oh yeah, that would be fun to get back into. God, that game needs rollback badly. Like, no joke. That's the only thing stopping me from like wanting to play that game more, dude. Like, just fucking rollback, please. I guess technically we could play on Parsec, but like, that's also like jank in its own way, right? It's just, it's so weird. Bam, behold. Let me stretch a little. There we go. Alrighty. Call of Duty Ghost maps. So, I'm using the same tiers that I had for the Black Ops 2 maps. Don't worry, there will not be that many things in GOAT, but surprisingly, there's also not going to be that many in Ass. I know a lot of people don't like Call of Duty Ghosts. I'm not one of those people. I enjoy Ghost for what it is. Alright? I am apologetic and understanding of a game's flaws. And if the flaws are excusable, but the positives are positive enough, I will absolutely, like, still enjoy a game through and through. So I actually enjoy Ghost a lot. There's a lot of things in Ghost I like a lot. Like the perk system in Ghost. I love Ghost perk system. I think Ghost perk system is the second best perk system aside from Pick 10. Just straight up. Genuinely, Ghost perk system is really good. I like the strike order system in Ghost, which is going to be very, very intricately tied to the maps because of how the strike system works. So we're going to be talking about that when we get to certain maps. I actually like a lot of the weapons in Ghost. A lot of the weapons in Ghost feel really good. Some might say too good, but that's mostly because of how Ghost handled its hit registration rather than the actual mathematical output of the weapons themselves. The kill time of weapons in Ghost is actually extremely similar to previous Call of Duties. It's just that because of the change in hit registry, it feels like you die faster. Because of how the server compensates instead of how it would in other Call of Duty games. Thermal PTSD flashbacks, yeah. But even then, you know what, we'll talk about it. Because, like, yeah, we'll talk about why a lot of the maps led people to playing that way. Let me pull up the files here. Oh, let me pull up a separate page here that has the first COD without traditional UAV. Yeah, that's also true. There was no UAVs. You had to place down the SATCOMs. And people stacking SATCOMs would instead apply the UAV effect. Which, yeah, is actually a very big change. Fucking... Ah! God, my hands are cold. Alright. So, yeah. Not gonna lie, though, I'm gonna be real. The complaints about UAVs were always funky to me. Not because, like, you know, the SATCOMs weren't necessarily, like, great. Like, I don't think it was a great implementation either. But also, like, I feel like a lot of the time, most people are running SATCOMs anyway, so it typically didn't matter that you needed multiple to get a traditional UAV effect. But we'll talk about it. Yeah, strongest kill streaks in COD. Yeah, like, the UAV is absolute. That would be a fun one to do. But it would have to be, like, a per-game thing, because if you take, like, series-wide, God, that changes a lot. Especially because of Advanced Warfare. Like, oh my God, Advanced Warfare UAVs, because you could augment your kill streaks, was fucking different. I'm gonna put it that way. Oh God. But let me adjust this a little bit for my sanity. Infinite Warfare, the same thing? Yeah. Oh yeah, variants too, also with Advanced Warfare, but again, maybe another day. I could probably do weapons. I can do weapons for a couple of the games. Not all of them, but a few of them. But anyway, bam. Behold. Bayview. If you're wondering why the map art is so small, it's because people don't like this game as much as Black Ops 2, so there's not that many high-res versions of all the stuff we're going to be looking at, unfortunately. Variant of the Ripper called the Bazoku that gave headshot multiplier if you shot in the crotch. I do remember that one. It was silly. But, yeah, on to our first map. This is Bayview. We're starting with a DLC map. And this is one of the things I get to start off on a positive note. Ghost DLC maps are unironically some of the best, most interesting maps in Call of Duty. I'm not joking. Ghost, a lot of people complain about the base maps, and the development team stepped their shit up for the DLC maps. Because a lot of the maps that they brought back, and a lot of the maps that they made brand new, are fucking amazing. So, here's Bayview. Bayview takes place in a California boardwalk, which is very cool. A big theming of Ghost is America under siege, basically. So, America is under attack. And, you know, a lot of regular areas of America are going to be, you know, attacked. You know, all the joy and fun are going to be sucked out of them. Much like Modern Warfare 3, but honestly, I feel like the emphasis is placed better in Ghost than it is in Modern Warfare 3, as we'll come to see, especially with the base maps. Here's the layout. That's a big map. Alrighty. So, a lot, not all, but a lot of the Ghost maps adhere to the 3-lane structure, which is kind of different. Infinity Ward doesn't often go along with 3-lane structure. Infinity Ward tends to do a more organic map design. Now, mind you, we talked a lot about during the Black Ops 2 video how just because something is 3 lanes doesn't mean the 3 lanes need to always be a concrete 3 lanes. There's different ways that you can implement said lanes. I find Bayview's lanes pretty well. There is this bottom lane, which is a very long sight line. There's this middle lane with this fountain in the middle, and these advertisement signs here and here, along with here and here and here. And then there's this top lane with the aquarium. You can imagine pretty well where the flags are, which is quite nice. Also, yeah, these are spawn points. Most of these spawn points are going to be for TDM, but they remain similar in most of the modes. I'll remember if they're different. So, one important thing about Ghost that I need to mention is Ghost has a lot of interactable environment details. The main one on this map is the trolley. There is a trolley going across this tram the entire map. You can crouch on the bottom of it for some cover. You can look out of both ends, or all ends pretty much, as you go along. You are somewhat open from higher up positions, such as on top of the museum right here and on top of the restaurant right here. But not this area. The shopping area does not have a top area. This is simply a way to get access to the zone, which is pretty nice. However, the more fun thing is you can put an IMS on the trolley instead and have just the trolley just IMS people as it travels down this lane. Which is very fun. As for the indoor areas, I already mentioned this shopping area that you can travel across here. There's a bottom and upstairs area for this door here, so you can travel across the bottom through here, but you can also go upstairs to get good overview of mid lane, which is a rather long-range sightline and a damn good one too. On the opposite end, however, is this restaurant, which has several entrances from the bottom, windows along here and here that you can access to get through here, as well as a big doorway, as well as over here, another big doorway where you can exit out to go into mid lane, as well as a staircase that leads up to the top of mid lane, which has less cover than this one does, but still gives you good access to mid lane, right? So you can counter engage long range here. There's another, I forget what kind of like store this is, which you can access from the bottom here and out here, but you can just instead sneak through the back of here to try and get access back here. There's a small little elevated staircase area with some railings up here, and this leads into the back of the aquarium. The aquarium with these big ass like decorative fish tubes. Our good old fish AI makes an appearance. As well as an upstairs area that leads into the back of this spawn here. This map is just really good, honestly. Like, there's lots of elevation and good key areas. There's lots of maneuverability throughout all the lanes. There's lots of long range, close range, and mid range engagements. Bayview is honestly a really good map. And we didn't even mention the strike package. So, I need to mention this because it's going to be important for the rest of this maps. Ghost has a unique mechanic called strike orders. How it works, or field orders, how it works is the first person that dies on a map drops a blue suitcase that can be picked up. That blue suitcase will give you a unique objective to accomplish. And when you do it, you get a free kill streak. It will be something like get a kill with a headshot, teabag an opponent after you killed them, knife a player, kill someone with one of your grenades, etc. Decided to start playing Civilization 6, help me. I cannot. Good luck with that one, friend. I am not good with Civilization-esque strategy games. So, the good thing about these field orders, though, is that a lot of the maps have unique field orders, unique kill streaks that are only available on this map that you can get if you accomplish it on that map, which is really cool. The unique field order on Bayview is a mortar strike. There are warships out in the distance that you can see that will then start to mortar strike the map and start pummeling it. Basically fully randomly, which forces all opponents indoors. Most of these are very strong, which is another good thing I can say about Ghosts. Honestly, a lot of the kill streaks in Ghosts are pretty damn good. A lot of people memed on these satcoms, but everything else was pretty damn good. So yeah, I've got a lot to say positive about Bayview. Bayview, honestly, is really good. It's really, really good. It's a map that you're almost always excited to see. I think it's fantastic. Ah! Not that button, that button. Actually, nah, no, you know, hold on. Let me... Boop. Bum, 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 bum. Next map. Behemoth, another DLC map. Let me move this one just a little bit down so you can get a little bit of a better view on it. So Behemoth takes place on a gigantic mining excavator, which is really fun. Takes place during the night, but visibility is very good, so you know. You won't have any dark corner McDougalls popping up. It will be very clear when people are where they are. Yay. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, which is pretty fun for all the DLC maps. There is an extinction egg hidden on all of the multiplayer maps. For all the DLCs. And you get extra rewards in extinction mode for shooting all of them, which is fun. Anyway, Behemoth. Decent map aesthetics, very nice, very construction heavy, very different. Here is the map. Again, these are very small. I had to get them in very jank ways. My apologies. You can count the pixels in some of these pictures, but we're gonna have to make do, sadly. Alrighty. Both teams spawn on opposite ends. And, there's sort of lanes. Again, Infinity Ward's map design is a lot more organic than Treyarch's. There is an upper and lower area to travel across the top of the main room, the generator room of the excavator. The excavator itself has several floors, I believe 3, and an outer ring to travel across the excavator room. The lower areas don't tend to have any elevation, but these are indoor areas present here and here. This map is very interesting because it is possible to engage long range on this map. If you want to try your best to lock down a lane, you can. It is absolutely possible. Locking down lanes from here or here is decent long and mid-range engagement, and a ton of close-range engagement if you're actually trying to engage on the lanes here, which is pretty good. Which is especially notable because the SMGs and Ghosts, for the most part, have a bit of longer range than SMGs in other games do. So the short range in Ghost is longer than short range in other CODs. So yeah, that's gonna be a little important. The unique field order for this map is a chopper gunner. Yeah, just a good old chopper gunner. You just get chopper gunner and you get to just like lay down on the map, which is very fun. This map can be a little problematic. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I still like it, but honestly, it's okay. Why do you hear Fortunate Son? Yeah, it can be like that. This map is okay. Not gonna lie, I think this map in other games would be interesting. I think relegating the short range in other games where they're actually shorter as opposed to Ghosts would be pretty neat to see this map. Up next, Chasm. We have our first base game map. This map takes place. It is a destroyed city after the Odin strike. Odin being the big ol' tungsten rod launcher in outer space to attack. Now, I mentioned that a big thing of the maps is how organic they are, and I need to stress that before we see the map play out. Oh, boy. Okay, where do I begin? So, one team spawns here, the other team spawns around here. Right? So those are the spawns. This map has roughly 3 floors of elevation across the entirety of the map. And you might be able to tell with the cacophony of obstructions and dotted lines that there are a lot of pathways on this map. One might say too many. This map is very messy. Right? When I mentioned Infinity Ward's organic map design, I mean, sometimes it works. Sometimes it works. But I'm gonna be real. I like Treyarch's maps more than Infinity Ward's maps because it seems like Infinity Ward forgets that they're making a video game. Right? They are making a video game that you need to play on. It is not enough for the map to actually look like what it's supposed to look like. Because I get it, and I understand why you're doing it that way, but you must remember we are playing a video game, and the map needs to feel good in the video game we are playing. Chasm fails at that. Now let's explain why. Let's go top to bottom. I think that'll be the easiest. So, this entire blue area is roofed. This is a destroyed mall. There is a food courtyard here. There is an upstairs entryway to that food courtyard here. There is an upstairs shopping mall section with mannequins up here. And downward stairs that lead into this open area down here. There's a big old bridge section that will connect you to this destroyed apartment building complex. And there's a destroyed section that will connect you to what is now just a full-on destroyed section. Upwards here and leading into the rest of the fallen apartment complex here. Along with staircases. Every rectangular block that you can see with several blocks is a staircase. Just keep that in mind. So, what else is there? There is a elevator here. There's a destroyed elevator that you can take, I believe, here that leads into the ground section here. Because, yeah, everything down here is also ground walkable. There's a ground walkable section all along this area into the downstairs food court. As well as that can lead outside into this gigantic stair section. That leads out into this open area, that leads out into this destroyed halfway bus, a bus that you can throw a grenade at to make the bus fall. That is kind of neat. I think that's interesting. Not gonna lie, again, I think Ghost having interactable map environments is pretty neat. So yeah. As far as the destroyed apartment complex, this is also where B flag is in Domination, which is a bit of a pain in the ass. Because there's an upper section that you can, like, peek over and into that goes here. There's a tram right here that you can jump across to try and get some overview here, which leads a little bit into B flag, but it's not common enough that someone will try and take this to try and take B flag because of the distance, but it is possible. Down here, we have a lot of destroyed cars and buses. This one you can enter. We have another diner. We have a diner over here. Which I believe is where a bomb is in Search. And then this whole area over here is non-operable. You don't interact with this area at all. I don't know why it's there. Chasm is... Oh, I forgot the underground area. Yeah, there is an underground area that leads all the way through here with a staircase that leads out here, this train section. As well as a few ways to go into an upper section and the underground area into this section where the B flag is. Chasm is messy. Chasm is extremely messy. There's no getting around it. That's how I feel about Chasm. Surprisingly enough, once again, there's actually decent long, mid, and close range engagements. But there's just like... It's too natural. Yes, it feels like a destroyed mall and a destroyed apartment complex right next to each other. But it does not feel good to play. right? Map flow is a really important thing. What do we mean by flow? Well, I mentioned this a little bit before in the previous list. Flow is the play patterns that emerge as you're playing through the map, right? What subconscious decision making are you making as a player when you're navigating the map, right? How are you moving around the map? There is too much for Chasm. That's all it comes down to. Chasm is too much. Up next, we have Collision. Collision is a DLC map. It takes place on a freight train that crashed with a bridge in New York, which is pretty cool. Again, I think a lot of the destroyed maps aesthetically and, you know, like lore-wise are pretty cool, right? A freight, yeah, a cargo ship that crashed into the Brooklyn Bridge is pretty cool. As for the map layout, here we have it. Ah! Wrong button. Bum, 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 bum. There we go. So yeah, one team spawns here, other team spawns here. This map is the closest range map we've seen so far. There's a lot of close and mid, but not too much long range. We can see where both teams spawn. I'm so glad that the loading screens show you where teams spawn. And hey, they also show you where objectives are if you're playing objective modes, which is pretty cool. So yeah. First things first, from Ghost Spawn right here, there is a huge underground system. There's a destroyed portion of the bridge that you can walk across that goes upwards into this middle section, or can lead completely over outwards on this section. Aside from that, let's talk about the elevated sections. This section of crates right here is typically where B flag is where the middle objective is. There is an indoor building that you can access from here that gives you decent leeway here and here to view mid and try and cover these areas, but not the farthest area here and here respectively. It is possible to engage with those windows. There's a walkable area right here to try and engage with people inside this way, as well as inside here. Same thing applies here. Not too big inside areas. There are various cargo crates that you can enter that give good entryway and good vantage points along there and there as well, which is pretty neat. And then ground floor, I think, is the most self-explanatory. You can see a lot of ground interactable. Every like small gray rectangle you see is a climbable area to get on top of the freight crate or the cargo crate that it is connected to, with very decent head glitches and you know, power positions and interconnectedness. There's this big building right here in the middle, has a lot of entry and exit ways to get across. Honestly, I don't have much to say. Like, the funny thing is, like, I'm not gonna have much to say about a lot of the good ghost maps because I just think they're good. I don't think it really takes that much to see why they're good. Like, does this map have like 3-lane structure? No. Again, Infinity Ward doesn't typically do 3 lanes, which is why I'm going to not bring it up too often here. But I think this map's layout is honestly good. I think Collision is good. Up next, Containment. Alright, Containment is another DLC map. Let's see, where does Containment take place? I like having the background of maps. Containment takes place in an urban streetway in Mexico. Oh, I forgot the unique field order in Collision. The unique field order in Collision is an A10 strafe run. You will command a fighter jet to do gun strafings twice as it flies along the map, which is very fun. I'm not going to have much positive to say about this map or this map's unique field order. Oh boy. Hold on, give me a quick moment. Alrighty. Yeah, streaming while tired and sick is not a good combination, but I'll make do. Alrighty. Here is Containment's map. Camera, will you stop not recording me? Alright? I am right here. You know I am right here. Stop it. Alrighty, we can see where both teams spawn, which is pretty nice. Ghost gets a bit of a closer spawn on the bridge, which is not great. Not great. We're gonna talk about it. Alrighty, hold on. Let me double check the music here, actually. Oh no, we're good. Volume is good. Alright. Oh boy, Jesus Christ, where to fucking begin with this map? Okay, you know what? I know where to begin with this map. Let's start there, cause genuinely, unironically, I will have nothing positive to say about this map. A lot of people, when they complain about ghost maps, it's usually, it's too big, it's too open, or it's too cluttered. This map emphasizes those faults a lot. So, let's go bottom to top. I think that will be a good emphasis as to why this map is so bad. This entire middle section right here is an alley. This entire section right here is low ground. There is a staircase here. There is a staircase here. There is a staircase here. There is a walkway here. There is a walkway here. And there is a walkway here. Do you notice any problems? So yeah, Containment's biggest issue. It's the exact same issue that Slums has. If you lock down the walkways, you win the map. Straight up. Federation has advantage on this map. Because it is a lot easier to shoot people off the walkways than it is the stairs, because the stairs at least have cement coverings going up them. The walkways don't have that. As well as the fact that Federation side has high ground. This building right here has decent inside, and this building has decent inside, but this building, this whole section right here, is a roof. A good roof. A good roof with good cover that leads into good access ways into the valley, because you can see downwards here into this stairwell, and a little bit into this stairwell from this roof, as well as this stairwell very clearly, and you have advantage, even though this is a wall. Holy Jesus, is this fucking map's layout atrocious. Now you might be thinking, well, what about Ghost Side? Does Ghost Side not have advantages? No! Because they have this little area right here, which is not enough to deal with the high ground here. This whole walkable area right here, with same problem, it absolutely is, hey! Fucking, bam! Stop it, Infraview, I'm talking about why this map is ass. Which is not enough to deal with this area here, or like the high ground across the street. Which, speaking of, again, this side has advantage when it comes to that. Fun fact, Ghost basically gives you free breach charges to destroy certain walls and windows to get, like, better access, which you can do here, and I think on a couple of the windows here. It doesn't really matter, basically. You can use any explosive, it doesn't need to be the breach charge, but just to keep in mind, basically, there's like, you know, entryways you can use to try and counter-engage. You won't. The indoor areas of this side and this building right here are actually pretty good. And you typically you're typically not worrying about this back building ever unless you're trying to get the egg for the extinction bonus. But, hey Dragonite, what about the bridge in the middle of the map? You haven't talked about the bridge in the middle of the map. You wanna know why I haven't talked about the bridge in the middle of the map? Because it's not gonna be there in 99% of your games. Because this map's unique field order is a mortar strike that destroys the bridge. So, this map has exactly 3 ways to get out of the alley for both lanes. Because the main way to get out of the alley otherwise on ground level is simply destroyed most of the time. You will not be able to go across this bridge ever. Full stop. And when this bridge is destroyed, guess who has advantage? Federation. Because Federation's A flag is over here, and Federation has B flag over here. Containment is, unironically, one of the worst maps in Call of Duty history. I will be a lot more forgiving with a lot of the maps that people consider the worst in this game, but that's only because those people have never fucking played Containment. Containment is awful. You will notice a lot of the time, when I say a map is bad, it is usually for a very particular reason. It is so heavily skewed for one side that the other side basically does not get to play the game. That, to me, is the worst kind of map design. I will be forgiving with the later maps that a lot of people have complaints about with Ghost. Because at the end of the day, no matter what, you will still be able to play those games. You will still be able to move out of those spawns. You will still be able to navigate. You will not have that luck with Containment. Next map. Good old Departed. Departed takes place, as you might guess, during the Dia de los Muertos festival. And it is a very aesthetically pleasing map. Like, visually, this map is fantastic. I love this map's layout and design. Visually, it is a very pretty map. Here is the map's layout. And honestly, I like this map's layout too. One team spawns in one corner, the other team spawns in the other corner. There is a lot going on with this map, honestly. There is an indoor section here. There's an indoor section here. There is some cars going along this way and along this way, right? We can see the main road here, which is pretty neat. And there's a lot of, like, Dia de los Muertos decorations, including the gigantic, skeleton man right here, which is very fun. A lot of alleyways to sneak and duck and dip and dive and dodge out of. Not that much elevation. This main building has elevation to cover this lane. And a little bit right here to potentially cover this lane. But that's not it. A lot of this map is really grounded, to be quite honest. And I don't mind that. I don't mind that one bit. This map is another one that honestly is pretty well mixed. There can be decent long, close, and mid-range engagements on this map. Anything in particular I want to mention? Let's see. I don't think I do, honestly. Like, a lot of this is just, like, pretty organic. Like, there's nice ways in and out of most of the buildings in order for cover and juke and flank routes. And again, like, I'm not gonna have too much to say about the good maps because I just think they're just good. Like, no joke, I'm being honest. Like, I think, like, a lot of the Ghost maps, especially the DLC ones, when you recognize them, you recognize why they're good or bad. I won't have to explain why they're good or bad. I feel that way with Departed. Departed has a lot going on, but it's well constructed, right? You can see where the obstructions are. You can see where the interactables are. You can see where, you know, people can move in and out of, right? Because of where the buildings are situated. I can't complain about Departed. Departed's unique field order is very fun. You become the Death Mariachi. You get dual-wield magnums, and if you kill someone, they basically spawn a doppelganger on your team that also has dual-wield magnums with reduced health. Which is very fun. So yeah, I think Departed is good. Up next, Dynasty. Dynasty, as you might imagine, takes place during a festival in China. And I say a lot that Infinity Ward typically doesn't do 3-lane design. Well, hey, that's not Dynasty's map. Oh, no, wait, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is, right here. Yeah, I see. Making sure I got the proper map here. But yeah, no, this is the back lane. This is where one of the spawns are. But yeah, the 3 lanes in this map are non-existent because there's a lot going on with this map. This underground section here is the only underground section. All the blue sections are indoor areas where there's a lot of engagement. If you're wondering why this looks so different, again, people don't like ghosts. I had to do some digging in order to find good maps. Or even any maps, honestly, for this game. One team spawns here, the other team spawns here. There's like a little back garden here that leads into this building with this indoor area right here that leads into this flank route. That is a good way to get into the underground area, which is pretty nice. This main building right here is a little navigable, but typically it's you're not in there. And typically, actually no, this one isn't. All the blue ones are. As you can see, there is a lot of lanes and a lot of leeway in between all these lanes. Entryways here, 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 right? Downstairs here, upstairs there. You know, entryways to get up into the main building right here instead of going underground. If you want to go up and over into instead of going under, this underground lane leading between both sections right here into this like market area where you can also go into this building this way. Again, I think, like, I'm gonna be real, like this, like, am I high? Like, you can see this map and be like, there's a lot of interconnectedness in this map, right? There's basically just one ground floor and a few indoor area. I don't think it takes that much to be like, yeah, I can see why this map would be good. This whole section down here is basically ignorable. Like, this is all water. Give me another moment. I gotta stretch. I am far away. you know what I need? I need to get, like, a good, like, cushion so that I can, like, lay back but still remain with, like, good posture. I really need that. Because my back hurts. Don't have a mom with scoliosis, kids. It will make you have very bad back problems. Alrighty. So yeah, Dynasty is a mostly close-range map. There's decent mid-range and long, if you want to, like, Overwatch the middle, which is pretty decent. Other than that, Dynasty, honestly, again, pretty solid map. The map's unique field order is the classic, fucking brain is braining. Also, let me take out my, like, jewelry. Yay. Is, the Harrier from Modern Warfare 2. Yeah, the field order for this map is the double bomb, and then the floating Harrier to provide overwatch and destroy other aerial kill streaks. Just like in Modern Warfare 2. It's very cool. Dynasty, again! I think Dynasty is pretty good. Where is it? There it is. Dynasty is good. Up next, Favela. Yes, Ghost has Favela. Good old Favela in Ghost. It is literally just Favela. Like, if you've played Favela in any other Call of Duty, you've played Favela in Ghosts. Literally. Here's the upper road, here's the lower road, there's the back buildings, there's the congested middle buildings. Again, where Infinity Ward struggle. Why did they make the Aya background pop up twice? Come on, backgrounds. Shuffle a bit more. Shuffle harder. Alright? I'm tired of Aya looking depressed in my background. Stop making her pop up. Anyway. Yeah, it's Favela. It is unchanged Favela. Favela is a map that is honestly... It's Favela. Like, do I need to, like, it's Favela. Like, it's good. Now, do I think this is the best version of Favela? Not necessarily. I think, I'm gonna be real, as weird as it sounds, I think the best version of Favela is the new Modern Warfare 3 version. I think the gunplay and the gun availability and the gun mix-up and the gun diversity in Modern Warfare 3 makes a lot of those games' maps and their map remakes like the best versions of those maps, simply because there is a solid gun availability for all ranges. And I feel like Ghost... I think Ghost's time, like the way the hit registration works, the time to kill feels too high for Favela to be good in Ghost compared to other maps, but it is still good. The unique field order on this map is the AC-130. Just straight up, it is the classic AC-130 available on this map, which is very fun. Up next, Flooded. Alrighty, Flooded, as you can see, takes place in this destroyed building, which has been flooded from a dam being destroyed in the middle of the war. Here is the map layout. One team spawns in the bottom of this destroyed building, the other team spawns in the back of this destroyed parking lot. Let me have a quick moment, actually. You know what? Let me move this up. Let me move this up. There we go. Let me give myself a little more back support. Man, I'm tired. Alrighty. So, Flooded. First things first. As you might guess by the map name, this map has a lot of water. So, the water is dark and, like, gray, and you can hide underneath it, but you can drown if you're underneath it too long. So, be careful. Everywhere in the bottom of the parking lot, the bottom of this section of the parking lot, this whole middle lane, the bottom of this building and the bottom of this building is flooded with water. All of the sections aside from that, not flooded. So the entire upstairs area of the parking lot, the upstairs section of this building, the back areas of this building, and the upstairs section of this building, and pretty much this entire section right here with this side of the building, are not flooded. Importantly, this middle lane right here is the most dangerous area in the map. Oh, you can't really see it here. Damn. There is two jumpable sections that if you miss the jumpables in this area, you will probably drown. So, yeah, keep that in mind. Aside from that, because people are barely in the middle, a lot of this map is close quarters engagement. This map is almost exclusively close quarters because no one navigates the middle because they don't want to fucking drown. What a surprise. And because of that, this map can usually end up feeling really stale and really repetitive because there's basically no diversity in the gunplay possible on this map. It is almost exclusively shotguns and SMGs, and very rarely will you see other guns. Is it possible? Yeah, if you want to try be in the back of like this parking lot and try to counter-engage with people across the buildings, which is possible, or maybe engage with people trying to come out from the parking lot this way, you have potential. It's just usually not recommended. Because, yeah, the buildings do have windows that counter-engage with each other, as well as the areas on this section right here to go into the building here and in here. It's just not typically happening. Most people avoid the water like the plague on this map. It's kind of sad. I think if this map literally wasn't flooded, I think it would be better. I think people would engage with the middle lane a lot more. But because you can fall and fucking drown and die, most people just don't go in the middle. Unless it's like a really quick, oh, I'm going from this building to this building, or this building to this building. That's it. Middle is avoided like the plague, and because of that, a lot of the fights are clustered in here, and nowhere else. It's kind of sad. Up next, Fog, our next DLC map. Fog takes place in the middle of the dark, dank woods. And before, this is absolutely 100% biased talking. I know it is. I'm not going to deny it. Fog is one of my favorite Call of Duty maps of all time. Because Fog has a bajillion horror movie references. Fog is literally horror movie, the Call of Duty map. There are a shit ton, and I do mean shit ton, of references to horror movies in Fog. Everywhere. Every corner. This map is packed with horror movie references. And thankfully, the gameplay on it is also pretty damn good. So, there is a relatively wide open area here with an upper section here that drops off here. Federation spawns here. There is an interconnected alleyway that leads into this cave, which exits out of here, 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 and here. A hole that you can fall in the middle of, which is also where the extinction egg is. That leads to this building, which is this open area section, which is usually where objectives are. There is a small foresty section here with this cabin right here where you can go into the bottom floor of the cabin and upper stairs section of the cabin, as well as the awnings on top of the cabin over here. There's an underground section of the cabin that you can destroy to go underneath and go across to exit out of this area if you would like to try and sneak around to get to this flag here. Or if you want to, on the upper section here, you can wrap around and engage this way. This back area and this building right here provides good cover for people engaging from various sections this way. Along with this back cabin, which typically isn't interacted with too often, but hey, it's possible. There is a RV here with a campfire that's pretty open, along with a walkway up here to walk across, which is very fun. And there's a very tight and congested, like, woods area right here with very good close-range engagements. This map, again, has a decent enough mix of close, long, and mid-range engagements. There's lots of close range here, decent mid-range here, right? Good potential long range here and here to deal with people coming this way. And all, like, again, I think this map, unironically, is very good layout. I could see this map being brought back in future games very well. And the unique field order in this map, of course, has to be mentioned. The unique field order for Fog is you literally become Michael Myers. The actual, in the flesh, Michael Myers from Halloween. How it functions is this game has a unique juggernaut type called the Maniac, which has increased movement speed than other players and has a unique knife that does not get stuck in players. Ghost has a different melee than other games, where unless you're playing a unique melee, when you jam the knife in someone, it will get stuck in them and you have to, like, rip it out. I don't know why they had, like, a hate boner for, like, melee playthrough, but the Maniac Juggernaut, as well as anything that derives from it, because there will be others, does not get stuck in players, right? You can just classic knife. So you're Michael Myers. The entire time you're playing Michael Myers, the Halloween music is playing. Other people can hear it, too, to let you know that someone is Michael Myers. And he's quiet. I feel the need to stress that. The Maniac Juggernaut does not make that much noise. Like, genuinely. So yeah, you literally just got fucking Michael Myers running around in these, like, potentially close-range engagements, just engaging you hardcore. Now, just because the Maniac has increased speed does not mean it has decreased health. It still has the lower than average health for a Juggernaut, but still has Juggernaut health. It will take some shots to get rid of it. Let me stretch again. My back. Alrighty. God, yeah, I am very tired. So yeah, I love Fog. I would love for Fog, even if it doesn't have horror movie references later on, I would absolutely love for Fog to appear in future maps. In future games, bleh. Next up, Free Fall! So Free Fall was a bonus map that was available for free, like added in after the game came out. Very similar to Nuketown 2025 and Black Ops 2. This map is pretty interesting. It takes place in a destroyed apartment complex that, as the match goes on, falls lower and lower and changes the layout of the map a little bit. Which I think, aesthetically, is a really cool idea. Unfortunately, if there is any map that emphasizes the fucked potential of Ghost, it's Free Fall. Free Fall has such an interesting concept for a map, but it simply does not. Hold on, let me fucking Alrighty, there we go. Yeah. But yeah, Free Fall just doesn't pan out well. one team spawns on this end, the other team spawns on this end, and there's a clear lane here, but then there's like no more lane, basically, right? You must engage around this wall or go into this fallen elevator in order to try and get across safely. There's a complex indoor section here and here with, as you can see, wells upwards and downwards, and some falls like in here to go on the bottom-ish here and here. But those layouts will change as the map falls. So these areas right here and here are the ones that change the most, but this whole middle lane especially changes a lot as the map falls, which becomes very dangerous. As you might imagine, with how small this map is just from appearance, yeah, this map is close quarters city. This map is almost exclusively close quarters. Like, you can try to, like, go right here or, like, right here and long range engage with people who are trying to run across, or maybe go into B flag right here. That's, I'm gonna be real, it's just not feasible. It will feel terrible. It will feel really bad. I want to like freefall. I really do. I think the concept for freefall is neat. I think the execution is done terribly. It is too restrictive. That's what it comes down to. Next. Freight! Which, as you might guess, takes place during a train yard with a bunch of cargo crates. Aesthetically, I kind of find this map pretty neat. Layout-wise, I honestly also think this map has potential. I don't think it's amazing, but let's talk about it. One team spawns back here, the other team spawns back here. Now, pretty much every single indoor area on this map has movable doors. There is a switch you can activate to move the doors aside and open and close the doors for pretty much all the sections. So this front door, this front door, this side door, this side door, this side door, this side door, this front door, this side door, and like this door right here. And I think that's pretty cool, honestly. I think that's cool. In the middle, there are two trains. This train, which cannot be shot through, but can be climbed on, and this train, which has entryways that you can walk through here and here. And as well, there is an underground section in this building that spans this entire area down here. There's an underground section here that leaves out of this section. There's a button to close this door. So if you don't want to go in this underground section, you can close it off and like close the door. Which is, you know, it's a thing. There's an upstairs section here and here to potentially like view mid lane from those respective areas. As well as, you may have seen it on the interlude here, a couple of windows like right here and here on these buildings right here, as well as an upper section right here that you can climb up if you want like the highest point on the map, which is right here, to provide overview in mid lane. This map, again, has mostly close and mid, but has long range potential. I think there's enough interconnectedness, because yeah, there's a whole like crates section that I haven't mentioned that's over here that you can climb and jump across to go into the building here. As well as the backlots for this building right here, which you can go across, leave out bottom, go upstairs, like I mentioned, climb up the top section, go into this building, provide overview on this section, connect to this section right here if you want to. I think Freight, honestly, where is it at? Right there. I think Freight's okay. I like it. It's alright. Right? I think Freight has enough maneuverability to make it a tolerable map. I think it could be better. I think... What would I do? I would probably add... What would I do, honestly? You know what I would do? I think I might add another underground section that has a bit more exits on the mid lane. I think mid lane probably could use more entrances near this side, because this side is like pretty locked down. Yeah. Up next, Gold Rush. Alrighty, so Gold Rush is a DLC map. It takes place in a wild west town, as you might guess, an old abandoned gold mine. Here is the layout. So. Okay. There we go. One team spawns down here, around here-ish. Other team spawns up here. And I need to talk about this area right now, because if I don't, the rest of the map won't work. This map has about 2 stories, relatively. A bottom section and top section. This middle section right here is a constantly moving elevator with these like generators right here. So this middle section, this whole square right here will move upwards and downwards as the map goes along. Just as well, along the map, there are mining tracks that have gold carts moving all around them. You can jump in them, you can get hurt by them. Once again, if you want to have fun, you can put an IMS in them, which is very, 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 very fun. We do that. So yeah, you can put IMSs in those. There is decent long range, close range, and mid range engagement. Once again, there's decent mid range, long range, short range engagements here. Good mid-range along pretty much all of the lanes. This map is a pretty good mid-range. A whole lot of close range when you're on this middle area right here, because of the constant fighting and the constant approaches that people can take from the bottom of the abandoned mines in this section. They can go upwards and try and get some cover from over here. They can try and chuck nades over here. They can be back here from the saloon, and you can do close range here, mid-range trying to engage with people coming out of the top here. This area right here is mostly long range, but has good mid-range engagements because, again, the mining cart offers decent cover and has constant movement, so you can move around with the mining carts constantly. There's a staircase here and over, I believe, somewhere over there, that has, or like right here, that goes up upstairs. This map's layout, again, I would love to see this map's layout in other Call of Duty games. I think, I feel that way with a lot of Call of Duty Ghost maps. If these maps were in other games, I think people would realize, hey, wait, this map is actually pretty cool. But because it's in Ghosts, not that many people have played them, and not that many, you know, people can give good, you know, good feedback on, like, what to do with these maps. I think that's all it takes for a lot of these. Also, the unique field order for this map is you summon a fucking horde of angry wolves. It is literally Black Ops style attack dog swarm. But they're fucking wolves. And oh boy, the dog AI in Ghost is on steroids. So believe me when I say it is the strongest horde of dogs in Call of Duty. Some dangerous ass puppers. Up next, we have Ignition. World at War dogs exist? Yeah, World at War dogs can get knifed once and they die. World at War dogs can get shot like 3 times and they die. Ghost dogs have a little bit more health than a player. They're also a 7 kill streak. Yeah, but now imagine getting it for free because all you did was do a field order. All you did was kill one guy to get the field order, and you teabagged another guy to get a field order. Now summon 7 wolves with ghost level strength. Like, yeah, ghost dogs are fucking built different, dude. Cause yeah, that's the important thing, right? Yeah, it's not just that, like, you know, they can one-hit you. No, they have a little bit more health than a player. You need to shoot at a dog just as much as you need to shoot at a person, and a little bit more. And they have the same, like, hitbox horseshittery, the same 360 no dog fucking biting you through walls. They were constantly tweaking the dogs like fucking AI the entire game, because just having one dog that defended you was ridiculous. Now summon 6 of them. Ghost dogs are fucking insane. Onto Ignition, on the other hand. Ignition is another one of our DLC maps. This is a remake of Scrapyard from Modern Warfare 2. It takes place, this time, in a rocket launch facility rather than a airplane scrapyard, which is pretty neat. The map layout is... it's Scrapyard. If you know Scrapyard, it's the exact same as Scrapyard, with a little bit of a difference. This lane right here, this plane section, and the middle section connecting it, right here, are a little bit different, because there is a little bit of a way to go underground in this section, as well as an entry and exit way this way. So they added a new path where you can go underground here that walks into the mid lane and walks all the way to the other side, but there is still the top lane on this section. Now, why would they do that? Well, it's because of the map's unique field order. This map's unique field order is a rocket test. The middle section right here, can we see it in the map? Yes we can, is this big testing rocket right here. And when you activate it, it will fucking flood this entire lane with rocket thrust, killing anyone and anything underneath it, and in those underground areas, and in those overhead areas if they're not farther enough back. And don't worry, when you have this field order, the game will let you know who's down there, just so you don't waste it. It will let you know that there are players down there. It will highlight players that are in there as red dots the entire time you have the field order, so you never waste it. Other than that, what can I say? It's Scrapyard. Again, Scrapyard is another, like, organically designed, solid map that also kind of has 3-lane design. But yeah, it's Scrapyard, and honestly, it feels pretty good in Ghost. Now, some people might complain that the thermal LMGs are going to go fucking nuts on this map. But no joke, I'm being dead ass when I say this. I think the thermal LMG complaints with Ghosts were fucking overblown. As someone who played Ghost for the entirety of its lifespan and for a lot of time afterwards, a lot of the weapons in Ghost were viable. A lot of the patches adjusted. Not necessarily the stronger weapons. There was one occasion where they had to do that with the MSBS. But what they did most of the time was buff the weaker weapons, which is what I preferred. Ghost is actually, like, a lot more balanced than people give credit for. Ghost is one of those everything's ridiculous so nothing is kind of games. Genuinely, I think people complain too much about, like, thermal LMGs in Ghost. I'm not saying there are not maps where that's gross. What I am saying is, that's not most maps. Just straight up. Up next, Mutiny! Mutiny is another DLC map. It takes place in this, pirate ship cove? I don't know what they were smoking when they designed some of these DLC maps, but, like, they went high fantasy for a lot of them, and honestly, I fuck with it. It's really silly, but I love it. So yeah, Mutiny takes place in this pirate cove in the middle of the night, with a ye old bar and a pirate ship smack dab in the middle of it too. Here is the map's layout. You can see the ship and you can see all the lanes. It's pretty nice. There is where the spawn's right there and there. Let's start from the spawn. These sections along this area right here. Let me zoom in a little bit more. These sections here and along the top of the boat are elevated. All of this is elevated. There is a lower section around the boat and along the bottom of this lane into the ghost spawn, along with stairs that lead upwards that can counter-engage over there and people going across the boat, as well as go into this building to try and go over here. And a big area right here with a destroyable door that lets you, go across this way. We haven't talked about many destroyables. There haven't been that many that have warranted mentioning. They're usually not there. By the time, I'm gonna be real, that's not the weirdest part about a lot of the destroyables and ghosts. We'll mention the more interesting, intricate ones when we get there. But yeah, this map has mostly close and mid-range, not too much long range on this map. A whole lot of conflict going on in this building and in these lanes, a whole lot of close range going on along here and here. Good mid-range when you're, like, traversing the areas here, but also the close range, and honestly, potential for long range if you're trying to get people on the boat or across, or if you're in the building watching lanes. There's potential. There's absolutely potential. I like this map's layout a lot. My favorite thing about this map is the unique field order. This map has two, actually. One of them is the ghost ship in the background. And when I say ghost ship, I mean pirate ghost ship, not the squad ghost, no. Fucking pirate ghost will bombard the map with cannonballs. And the second one is you summon a fucking ghost pirate crew. One with dual-wheeled blunderbusses, and the other ones that have swords and hooks that wander the map and kill people. I really like Mutiny. I think aesthetically it's one of Ghost's better looking maps. I like the layout. There's lots of interconnected ways. There's lots of ways in and up and around. There's good conflict at ranges for most players, not to necessarily long range, but I think most people won't complain about that when it comes to Ghost. And the unique shrieks are very good. It has a good flow, right? You can start from here, run inside, right? Jump into mid lane, engage with people in mid lane, run up here, go back inside, try and deal with people who are going across here, right? Run over here, fight people coming across, going over here, jump up there. Like, the flow on this map is very good. Good job, Mutiny. Up next, Octane. Hey, we were just talking about Destructibles and the good and the bad ones. Time to talk about a potential good one. Emphasis on potential. Some people might not like this one as much as others. Octane, I believe, takes place in Nevada. Let me double look at that. Yep, it's in Vegas. Yeah, it is a sandstormed out section of Vegas. Here is the map layout. This map is divided pretty damn heavily by its mid lane right here, and then the buildings. The buildings all have decent close and mid-range engagement. We can see one team spawning here, other team spawns over here.
This building has this clear section right here, as well as an upstairs section that provides overwatch into the mid lane into a decent amount, especially the counter building across from it. This building does not have an upstairs area. This building is all inside, but has an entryway and exitway here, 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 and here. This building right here is almost all upstairs. There's a small indoor section right here, but most importantly, you can go on top of this building to provide very, very good cover and overwatch of mid lane because of the destructible sections on this building. That give you good overwatch across mid lane. But most notably, the most important destructible on this map is the remaining gas nozzles right here. You can destroy this section right here and cause the entire gas nozzle and the awning of it to fall over, providing a new lane of cover when traversing mid lane, which is pretty damn important. Other than that, not gonna lie, this map has a lot of potential dips and ducks and dives and dodges for engaging the mid lane. The middle right here is an open cargo container that has an entryway here, here, and on top for some fucking reason. So yeah, you can just straight up alley-oop nade someone, just straight up hitting people with Kobe shots, if you want to like get people out of there. There's lots of cover with all these cars. Honestly, I find Octane a pretty good map. I'm gonna be real. I think Octane is pretty good. I think Octane could be in a couple more maps. I think there's decent mixes of cover for close and long, or for long to not be as oppressive as you would think on this map, but still has good power positions for long range. Mid-range is, of course, see, that's the thing with mid-range guns in Call of Duty, right? By their naturalness, they're usually good all over the place. But it has good close-range engagements. Like, the buildings are all, like, very solid close-range engagements. Yeah, Octane is pretty good. Up next, Overlord. Overlord is a satellite station. I don't remember where it is, though. Where is it? Boop. Overlord is in Chile. Okay. Boop. Here is Overlord's map layout. As we can see, Ghost spawn on this section, Federation spawns on this section. This middle building is the main satellite building. There is both upper and lower floors right here. All on ground floor. So yeah, there is ground floor all along here. There's a slight under section right here. You can see it's walkable. You can walk under and around here. But then this whole section up here is actually elevated. This is high ground that overviews this section, engaging with people coming out of building or trying to go out of this building right here. Likewise, this section right here is also elevated. This whole section up here is an elevated cliff section. There's a stairwell to get to the bottom if you would prefer to walk out of the bottom that way, and this way, which is pretty nice. There is a main building here, which is all one floor, but has a roof that you can get access to, both outside and inside. This building right here is only inside. There is no top floor for this building. That lets you engage. There is a ton of cover on this section here. A ton of, you know, crates and munitions crates and jeeps and whatnot. That's pretty much what all these are. This is tank over here. This building is non-enterable, so it is just like this lane here, this lane here. This top section right here provides good overwatch, but again, people can dive in, up, and around out of this building pretty damn well to try and get away from people with long-range engagement, trying to watch mid lane here. Same with over here on this side. Like, you can get long-range views this way. Yeah, Overlord. Again, honestly, like, this one's also, like, pretty okay. Like, it's not bad. I don't think it's great. I don't like it as much as, say, Octane, but it's good. Like, it again, I think you could put this one in other Call of Duties and be fine. Up Up next, Pharaoh, another DLC map. I hope I don't have to fucking say where this map is. I hope it should be really obvious. Before we talk about it, really quick, I will be right back. I need a bathroom break. Alrighty, I am back. Alrighty, on to Pharaoh. Good old Pharaoh. So, here is Pharaoh's layout. So, ghosts spawn over here in a more open area. Federation spawns on this indoor building. One thing I want to talk about before anything else. This map has a couple of fun interactables. There is a big pillar in the middle of the lane that can be destroyed and knocked over. You can kill people with it, and it creates cover when engaging with people in mid lane, which is very fun. There are 3 torches that you can rotate. I believe one's over here, the other one's over here, and I think the last one is like somewhere around here. And if you activate all 3, you will open up a hidden room in the back of Federation spawn that can give you a free kill streak. But it is a booby-trapped room, so the moment you enter, you only have a couple of seconds to get the thing and get the fuck out. Otherwise, the entire room will ignite afterwards and you'll die. Along with that, there are a bunch, and I do mean a bunch of jars all over the map. If you destroy the jar, flesh-eating scarabs will pop out of the jar and remain there for a few seconds and will kill anyone who walks too close to them. I love that they just got silly with the DLC maps. Onwards to the map design. Let's start from Federation Spawn. Federation Spawn's building is all indoors. This map does not actually have like multiple floors. It has a decent alleyway here and some elevation here and here. Otherwise, everything is relatively like in eye level. You don't have to worry about like changing heights too much. It's all like half height basically. So I'm not going to mention too much elevation, or at least try not to. But yes, there's an entire indoor section right here. Where Federation spawns that leads into the back of this lane. They can walk up to go this lane. They can go into this tomb room and exit out of this lane, which has its own exits here, here, and here. If you leave here, there's a climbable section right here to provide overwatch from mid lane a decent a bit, and well as an indoor building that provides only a little bit of view here, but mostly is just used for like running through and close range engagement in order to get the fuck out of dodge. Most of this map is decently close in mid, but again, when it comes to Call of Duty Ghost, I have a sneaking suspicion that most people would not complain about that. Which is kind of funny, not gonna lie, because this game is also the first game to introduce marksman rifles, and I really actually liked the marksman rifles in Ghost. They just didn't, you know, people didn't use them too often, because it was often better to just go with a sniper or an LMG, which is usually the problem marksman rifles have in Call of Duty. It's really hard to get a marksman rifle right. Nah, not gonna lie, you know what game I think did marksman rifles the best? X-Defiant. But I think X-Defiant had the best marksman rifles. Also, though, I have not played any of the newer Call of Duties, so, you know, I know some of the newer ones are also, like, pretty good because of how they're designed. But yeah, I think X-Defiant had, like, really good marksman rifles. Like, matter of fact, which one was my favorite? Because I know one of them I liked a lot more than the other one. Yeah, it only had two, but they were both good. Yeah, the Mark 20 and the SVD. I loved the SVD. SVD was, I'm not gonna lie, like, overall, probably my favorite gun in that game. Like, I really liked the SVD in that game. Anyway, back to Pharaoh. Close range engagements. There is a lot of close range engagements that happen in this lane and in mid lane, of course. There's a good overwatch for here for like mid and long range engagements to watch mid lane. And while this whole area back here is pretty damn open, allowing for long range players to engage with people who are trying to counterflank. Yeah, Pharaoh, I'm gonna be real. Once again, I think this is a map that can be brought into modern Call of Duties totally fine. I think Pharaoh, unironically, is like one of the better maps in this game. It's one of the best maps in this game. I think it could be in other Call of Duties, no problem. As for the unique field order on this map, it is very fun. You see, Modern Warfare 3, the original, added different kill streak styles. Offense, defense, and specialist. What specialist did was, as you got kills with specialists, you would select certain perks that you would get on certain kills, and if you got a certain amount of kills, you would just get all the perks in the game. Which is overpowered as hell. That was broken, to put it mildly. It was really broken. It was super ultra mega broken, especially because the perks in Modern Warfare 2 were really unbalanced. Because some of them just straight up had no counter, even though they should have. Ghost also has specialists, but they nerfed it in a more reasonable way because of how Ghost perk system works. You see, every perk in Ghost has a point value attached to it, from 1 to 5. The stronger the perk, the more points it's worth. So, how Specialist in Ghost works is, after you set up your perks on your main class also gets extra perk slots, depending on how many equipment you have, right? If you don't take a grenade, you get an extra perk slot. If you don't take a secondary, you get an extra perk slot, etc. It's very similar to Pick 10 in that regard. How Specialist works in Ghost is the kill points it takes to get to the perk is the same as the perk cost plus 1. So if you want the most expensive perk, Deadeye, which is 5 points, you need 6 kills. Then your next one would be that plus 2, right? Because it would go up. So let's say you wanted Stalker afterwards, which is plus 3, right? So it would be, you know, it would be 6 plus 3 plus 1 more. Right? So it would be 10 kills, and then so on. But if you get the extra kills past your 3 perks, you can select a certain number of perks to then be your specialist bonus perks. That way, you can't just have every perk at once, because that would be fucking silly. Except on Pharaoh, because the field order for Pharaoh is called Blessing of Anubis, and for 3 lives, you do get every perk in the game. Which I think is a much better way of doing something like that, because having every perk at once is overpowered as hell. So, not only making it a field order, but also only having it exist for 3 lives, which also means you have to make a special class just for it because of how that works, because some of the perks available are equipment perks that allow you to get extra attachments, for example. So, because of how that all works, I think this is the most balanced version of Specialist that there is. Both the base Ghost version and the Judgment of Anubis, the Blessing of Anubis version. I think they're both very cool. I think this is definitely the way to, if you ever bring Specialists back, it has to be done this way. Although, because the current Call of Duty perk system, mostly the Infinity Ward version, is very different, I don't think it's ever going to be to have Specialists ever again, I'm going to be real. Unless you want your guy wearing like 500 pairs of gloves and like 30 goggles, but, you know, I'm not Infinity Ward. Up next, Prison Break. Prison Break is one of the base maps. Takes place during a jungle in South America. Hold on. Need another stretch. I am EP. Alrighty. Hey. So yeah, aesthetically, this is the South American jungle during a prison. One of the spots on this map is pretty fun for like things like demolition and search, because it's literally one of the bombs to blow open the wall to break people out of prison, which is pretty cool. Alright. You can see where Ghost and Federation spawn. Now I'm gonna be real. There are a handful of notorious maps in Ghost that gave Ghost the bad rap that it has. Prison Break is absolutely one of those. I don't think it's the worst of them, not at all, but absolutely Prison Break is one of the maps that people are like, wow, Ghost fucking sucks. And if the only thing you played in this game was Prison Break, I would understand absolutely why you would have that fucking problem. It was an input. I would understand absolutely why you would have that problem, because yeah, Prison Break is absolutely one of the maps that is dominated by long range, and absolutely dominated by things like the thermal LMGs. Alright, let's talk about it. This right here is Ghost Spawn. Ghost Spawn is where this building is right here. This truck is that truck right there. Alrighty. God, where the fuck do I begin with this map? Alright, let's talk about the area that is least often protruded. This entire section right here. This is where the prison is. There's a top building right here that you have an upstairs area too that can provide overwatch. You can see right there. You can go in it. You got pretty good vision of the map that way. There is a bunch of construction going on. There's construction vehicles and a trailer that you can't go in, but you can go on top of, along with these two like crates here that you can go in. Same thing, like crates and trailers that you can go in, or you can't go in, but you can go around them. There's this, and then the rest of this, most of this map is jungle. There's a log section over here where there's some logging going on. There's a log stack right here that you can destroy and cause logs to fall into the lane below and kill people with, which is pretty cool. This section right here is a walkable riverbed. It's just like, you can just walk right through. That's all fine. A nice bridge right here. This whole back section, all those like solid dots are trees. They're like big, sturdy trees. But no, that's not where most of the action happens on this map. Most of the action on this map happens right here on this cliff face to provide overwatch on this whole area right here. The top of this cliff face to provide overwatch of this entire lane right here. And the top of this section right here to provide overwatch for this lane. I am not kidding when I say it takes exactly 3 people to stop people from moving in this map. Maybe 3.5, because you might want a guy back here watching backwards for you. That's about it. It takes one guy right here looking at everything over here. Everything over here. It takes one guy right here making sure no one sneaks by this way. It takes one guy over here making sure no one sneaks by this way. And it takes maybe a guy right here if dude at the top of the hill doesn't want like any additional cover. But the thing is, people at the bottom here can't really shoot at the guy up top here. Yeah, this map is fucking dominated by long range. If there's any, like I said, this is the map where it's like, oh yeah, Ghost was nothing but thermal LMGs. Yeah, this is the map where it was like, yeah, there's thermal LMGs everywhere. Because close range on this map was relegated to exactly one side. Everything else is dominated by long range. It is horribly skewed for long range. I think the one thing that could have fixed that is if they just changed where the objectives were, but they didn't. They really didn't. Most objective, like domination, for example. One of the flags is right here. One of the flags is like over here. Or it might have been right here. I could even be like mistaken. It could have been right here. And the other one is like right here. So yeah, like all of the important shit is long range. And same thing with like demolition and like search and destroy bombs. Why the fuck would you try and go all the way over here, right? When it's a lot easier if you're long range to just deal with people who are over here. You would never put the bomb over here. Never. You're just not doing that. I think putting more objectives over here would have helped, but they just didn't. So yeah, Prison Break is neat conceptually. Visually, it looks pretty nice, but it's too horribly skewed. Like I said, it is one of the poster childs for why Ghost has the reputation it has. Up next, Ruins. Probably obviously takes place in a destroyed ruin. This was one of the DLC maps, and it's a very cool, cool DLC map. Here is the layout. Let's talk about it. Ghost spawns here. Federation spawns here. Let's see. That picture is of that destroyed head. That should be, if I'm looking at this properly, that should be right. No, hold on. That's the head. That's the staircase that goes upwards and goes in the corner. So that should be right here, I think. That should be here. Is that here? No, it's right here. Yeah, no, it's right here. It's where Federation spawns. Yeah, I can see now. I'm so used to the spawns being different. I don't play TDM too much. I play Domination, so I'm used to the Domination spawns. Anyway, as for the map itself, there is all the blue areas are roofed indoor sections with the decent close range engagements, as well as decent ways into the top sections for good mid and long range engagements, which is pretty nice. Interconnectedness with the ruins here, exiting potential here, upstairs here. There's a big tree here that has several exit sections. You can leave here, underground here, upwards here, left way this way to go into the underground section there that has an exit spot about here, and same way if you want to go that way instead to exit over here, which is very cool. This bottom lane right here is a fucking slobber knocker at all times. Like, there is constant fighting going on in this bottom lane. Along with decent juke engagements here that you gotta keep an eye out for. Decent elevation, a lot of elevation here. There's like a floor upwards here, an underground section here. but like it's really easy to engage with people. It's not too bad, which is pretty nice. And yeah, central temple that you can go in from either side here and here. There's Overwatch to provide a little bit of Overwatch into the bottom, but mostly provides Overwatch on the mid lane here. But because of how open it is, it actually makes it pretty easy to counter engage. So you gotta, you know, be on your shit if you're up here. It's not just a freebie while you're up there. This middle temple right here, you cannot engage with middle temple. There's like a solid wall interface. So you can't engage with middle temple from this temple right here, which is pretty nice. This map's unique kill streaks are both very fun. The first one is a volcano strike. A volcano will erupt in the background and start just fucking bombarding everyone with volcanic rocks. It's cool. And then the second one is you become the Predator. An actual, brought to life, thermal imaging, cloak technology, wrist blades, shoulder mounted launcher. You become the Predator. I really don't think I need to explain why that's so fucking cool. So yeah, the jungle layout for this map is actually super good with the Predator because of the cloaking. It makes it really easy for the Predator to hide in places where you wouldn't expect them to be, unless you're actually really paying attention and looking for that shimmer. And just like the classic films, when the Predator dies, he sets off a self-destruct sequence and kills every enemy on the map. Yeah, he takes everyone out with him. So even if you never kill anyone as the Predator, you still provide a large amount of control when he fucking dies anyway. I think Ruins is fantastic. I don't think it's top tier. I think the layout is close to top tier. It is. But it's just a smidgen underneath. But Ruins is good. Up next, Showtime. So, Showtime is a remake of Shipment. Shipment is notoriously Call of Duty's smallest map. And I say notoriously because it is just like, there is nowhere safe on Shipment. There is no breathing room. It is non-stop, hectic action, mostly close range, as you'd imagine, for the smallest map in the series. The problem with Shipment is that we got a better version of Shipment and we never ever used that better version again because nobody liked Ghost. What is that better version? We're looking at it. This is Showtime. You want to know what they did to change Shipment? It's really simple. They added an outside area. That's it. That's all they needed to do to make Shipment a tolerable map. Not only is Shipment a tolerable map, Showtime is straight up one of the best Call of Duty maps of all time. From its aesthetics to the improvement of a notoriously awful map that no one fucking likes. To the improved flow that is added because of the new outdoor section. And the uniqueness of the shit on the map. Because this map is not just unique just because they added the outdoor area. No. Showtime is a game show. Yeah, Showtime is literally a game show that's happening. It is a futuristic, like, game show going on, which is really cool. Can't wait for a new venture. La la, la la, la la. A new venture.
Anyway, let's talk about why this map is awesome. Alrighty, if you're not familiar with Shipment, let's start with the inner layout. The inner layout, ignore all the doorways, as funny as that sounds. The inner layout is very tight. It is a couple of movable areas and places of cover, some climbable, some not, but most notoriously it is a bunch of cargo crates that are obstructing the middle here that force nothing but like hardcore close range engagements in these areas and in every other area, because every other cargo crate right here is just close range. There is nothing but close range engagement on Shipment. Now, what are a couple of the things that make Showtime Showtime? Well, there is the announcer booth up here. Let's start with that. The announcer booth is an upstairs area that provides long-range Overwatch potential for the mid lane. Wow! Along with that, because of the interconnecting lanes here and here and here and here, there are now much more safe areas to spawn, so it doesn't just feel like you're getting spawn trapped on this map all the fucking time. Now, the announcer booth has an upstairs going up here and a downstairs going down here. These areas right here are all walkable. There's no section underneath here. This all is like one area you can walk around. This is where one team spawns. This is where the other team spawns. There is a back area right here that provides no view in the mid lane, but has, you know, windows to counter engage with people who are approaching from here or here. As well as a entryway here that goes into this back lane. This back lane also providing decent mid and long range engagement potential, which, you know, we'll hold off on it. There is this soundstage system that you can climb on a little bit, but it's typically not gone on. Which, fun fact, the egg in this map is up here, actually. You need to climb onto the sound system and jump up here onto this section right here, and then shoot into the into here to hit the egg, which is pretty fun. There's a neat little back area right here to provide potential safeway or juke potential to get into this lane right here, as well as this building, which is like a cargo area or like a storage area with some stuff. But again, decent way in here. Again, does not provide entryway in the middle, but has decent cover. Most importantly, probably, is the entire outer area has various new doorways to provide entryway into the main area. So yes, you can now go in and out and juke and in and around of the area of fucking, like, it's... That's it. That's all this map needed. Now the map's flow feels a lot more organic because now you're actually moving! Not to mention, because of how the exits and entries are positioned, they don't provide exact view of each other, meaning you're not just forced to go long range, but they still provide good entryways, right? Like, a lot of the entryways still have good vision of a lot of spots without directly countering each other, meaning it's a lot easier to engage and get in safely, but still have decent power positions. And if all that wasn't good enough, this map's unique field order is the slot machine. So, when you get the field order and hit the slot machine, several things can happen. Number 1, 6 care packages will drop from the sky. And now it becomes a race to grab them. The player that activated the slot machine can pick them up faster than normal, just like with regular care packages. But your allies can pick them up faster than enemies can. So it becomes a fucking scramble to get the care packages that drop all along the inner area of the map. Now, it is possible for the care packages to also have slot machine and change slot machine into slot machine, which is a fucking rat race. Another thing that can happen is sentry guns will pop up on various corners of the map. Yeah, several sections of the map have sentry guns built into the cargo containers that are normally closed, but if you activate this, it will open them up and block off certain exits and entrances. Which is very cool.
3. A deadly gas will appear on the outside arena, forcing everyone inside into the central arena. Which is also cool, because it's not all the time, right? A big problem with how the map worked is that it would always do that, right? But now, because it's an occasional thing that's complete chance, it doesn't feel as bad when it happens. You can also get a jackpot, which does literally everything I just previously mentioned, but most notoriously, it is possible to get a chem strike out of a fucking care package in this game. Hi, Rare Candy! So yeah, Showtime, you were doing a long stream. Neat! Showtime is absolutely one of the best Call of Duty maps ever. It fixes every problem that the previous version of that map had, and they never fucking brought it back because of people's hate boner for Ghost. Like, it blows my mind that they fixed this map, and just because people didn't like the game it came from, despite how good the map actually is, that they never brought back the fixed version. Because no one likes Shipment. Everyone complains all the time about Shipment, because it is literally just a non-stop standstill kill people, so notorious that people are like, oh well, time to farm fucking camos on my guns on this map. No one plays Shipment. They fucking sit there and just farm gun experience. And they fixed Shipment in Ghost and never brought it back because no one likes Ghost. Even though Ghost has the best version of Shipment. For shame. Like, I want everyone to know, everyone complaining about Shipment from now until the end of time, you could have had the better version of Shipment. You could have. But no, Ghost died for your sins. Showtime died for your sins. I hope you feel happy having the shitty version of Shipment for the rest of fucking time. Oh, poor Showtime. Up next, Siege. Another base game map. Once again, I have to, unfortunately, be the negative one here. And yeah, if there's any map that gave this game the bad, I'm gonna be real, I think this one deserves ass tier. Siege is pretty bad. Siege is really bad. Alright. Here is Siege's layout. Let's zoom in there. Federation spawns in this destroyed building right here. Ghost spawn in this open-ish section over here. There's a building right here that leads into this way and can lead into these buildings that basically only connect with itself, but have a couple of decent entry and exit ways to go into the caves over here that has like an indoor like management section right about here. But no, you know what, let's talk about top lane first. Top lane actually has a really intricate building system with decent top and bottom sections and multiple floors that has good engagement for close range and decent mid-range engagements all along the way here, along with the open lane section right here where the spear is, which is also pretty good. I don't mind this section. I don't mind the indoor section over here either, which is pretty similar to this section, just with less floors. And I don't mind this middle building right here that is also pretty much the same thing. Everyone complains about the long-range engagement potential of mid-range, or mid-lane on this map, and it's really easy to see why. Mid-range on this map is dominating, right? You get a guy here, you basically control the entire map. You get a guy here, you basically control the entire map. You get a guy here, you basically control the entire map. Unlike a lot of the maps I mentioned, even though there's technically an underground section here, there's not really anywhere to go. It's possible, there's potential, but it's really hard. This is another map that is just locked down by the long-range engagements of Ghost. And it's really unfortunate. I think, no joke, couple more entry-exit ways would have been a bit stronger. Like, I think that's all it takes. Or, as weird as this sounds, if this map condensed this whole middle section and instead connected the cave to the broken down sections and just had essentially 2 lanes with like a lot of interconnectedness, I think that would have been better. Right? I think the problem is the engaging parts of the map are too far away. And there's not that many objectives that are there that force players to go into those sections. I think getting rid of this entire middle section and forcing play, like literally just like take like everything around here and just get rid of it, right? And just like merge this section and just squish it together. And I think that would have fixed the map. I'm gonna be real. Unfortunately, that's not the map we got. I like a lot of the map. I'm gonna be real. I think a lot of the apartment section and the cave section are pretty good. The underground section is also pretty good, starting from around here and leading in pathways that go through the apartment building and also through this other apartment building over here. I think that's good, but most players are simply not going to engage with it. The power middle affords is just too grand. It's that simple. You're just not gonna be able to grand most of the time. Or you're just not going to deal with middle most of the time, and it sucks. Up next, Sovereign. Sovereign takes place in the middle of a tank development factory. They are literally in the process of building tanks, and it's pretty cool. It is a base game map. Here is the layout. Fire candy! Oh, he said, hold on. The fucking OBS chat is like exploding. I didn't get his messages until right now. He literally said they happened a while ago. You mean? Why are you doing? Why you do this, OBS? Stop it. Both spawns are in pretty good positions. There is upstairs section and a big middle building right here. There's upstairs sections here and here that will connect to lead over there. This section right here does not have an upstairs section, but has back building sections here, here, and throughout here. As well as this middle lane right here has an underground section with some ladders that will let you go up and around through those sections, or just go completely from one side to the other. You can go underneath here just as well. It's very similar to High Rise, the middle like power generators in High Rise. It's very similarly designed to that. That's the best way I can think about it. Middle building also has a ground floor with a big wall right here that provides cover when juking around, so you're not just, you know, fucking destroyed by people staring directly at you. As well as a lot of interconnectedness right here, as well as a building section here. Honestly, this map is pretty well designed. Lots of good long, mid, and close range engagements. Decent map layout, good cover, good interconnectedness. The only thing that brings this map down, honestly, is the unique field order on this map activates a gas that just obscures vision. That's it. All it does is just obscure vision. That's literally all it does. And that's really bad. It's probably the worst of the map unique field orders. And that's the only thing keeping it out of GOAT. Because I'm gonna be real, I think the map's layout is actually very strong. But yeah, the unique field order is kind of doo-doo. Let me get another stretch. Yeah. I am eepy. I still haven't eaten yet either. No joke. I'm probably gonna eat and lay down after stream. Bum, 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 bum. Alrighty. How many maps do we have left? We have 8 maps left. Yeah, we're almost done. Up next, oh good lord, it's Stonehaven. Oh man, if there is any map you know from Call of Duty Ghost, it is probably Stonehaven. Stonehaven is, to this day, I'm pretty sure, the largest multiplayer map in Call of Duty. It is notorious for being the big fuck of big fuck maps. Here is the map's layout. Matter of fact, is Stonehaven still the biggest map? Let me see. I'm not sure if it's still the biggest in the series. It might be, though. It is up there. Alrighty. Stonehaven. One team spawns inside the castle. The other team spawns at the top of the hill over here. There is a destroyed castle section right here that has an upper section that provides decent overwatch for this middle area, as well as a couple of the entry gates into the castle. Castle has a back lane that you can go out of, a interconnectedness that goes inside from like over here. Has two big gates that can be knocked over and shot down, but can also be blown up afterwards in order to still remain, have entryway. There's a big back section right here. There's this middle section with this big rock right here and some old, old houses. As well as, two houses here with upstairs that can provide decent overwatch over here and throughout this lane right here. But no, the biggest problem with this map is keeping people in the castle. The castle's exits only have a couple of, actual exits. It is very, 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 very easy to keep people locked inside the castle because of the long-range engagement potential that high round gives you that ghosts spawn with, even though they spawn farther away. Same with over here, right? It is just a dominating, they spawn at the top of the hill basically, right? They have height advantage because everywhere from up here leading down here is height until literally the bottom section. I'm not joking. So yeah, once someone is in that position, they're keeping that position usually. It is really bad. It's bad. I like the cows in the background though. They're cute. I like cows. Cows are fun. But yeah, Stonehaven is absolutely one of the ghost maps that deserves its reputation. It is absolutely dominated by long range and just hard lockdown. And there's no getting around it. There really isn't. Up next, Stormfront. What is this map? I'm pretty sure it's an abandoned mall on one side. I think it's literally just an abandoned shopping center. I'm gonna double look. Let's see. San Diego. Yeah, abandoned urban streets of San Diego during a storm. Yeah, let's see. Visually, at least. I fuck with the visuals on this map. As for the map layout... Alrighty, we have another problem. If you're looking at this map layout and you're like, wow, Ghost Side has a lot more elevation than Federation Side, you would be correct. Whoever spawns on this side wins. So, This building right here is a big old abandoned mall. There's an elevator right here that goes from the top floor to the bottom floor. It's only 2 floors, don't worry. But there are... Can you see it in the screenshot? No. Oh wait, you can a little. Alright, so that that big circular building and that orange building are right here and right here, respectively. So that's in the middle of the map. Believe me when I say that everywhere right here and right here are nothing but windows that provide high ground to stop anyone from coming across the middle road. On top of the fact that the sections right here and right here also have high ground to stop people from coming through the middle road. As well as right here, which is a bridge, and right here in the back of the orange building, which is also high ground. Look, those are staircases that stop people from coming in the road. Stormfront is so heavily skewed for whoever controls Mall. But the problem is, one team spawns directly next to it. Now you might be thinking, well, what about Federation side? Is the Federation side decent? No, because Federation side just has a handful of windows that Mall side can absolutely see and engage with no problem. There is no advantage to being on Federation side. It is one of the most one-sided maps in Call of Duty history and is garbage. This map is ass. Up next, Strike Zone. Alrighty, this map takes place at an abandoned baseball stadium, which is pretty cool. This section of the map right here with Ronnie's world-famous wieners is right over here. So you get some perspective. With the big staircase right here. There's an indoor bar section right here that has an exit way that leads into the lane right here, as well as a back entrance that leads this way. There's I think that's a abandoned store right here with a desk that you can go behind that has exit way right here. There is an upstairs area. You can jump across and up this truck to go over here to provide overwatch for this lane right here, as well as a good way to get into mid lane, but you gotta check the corners. One team spawns here, the other team spawns here. Both have relatively good access to mid, which is pretty nice. There's good long-range potential actually watching mid lane, which is pretty good too. From both ways. Like, there's good long, close, and mid-range engagements, even though this is one of the smaller maps in the game because of how it's structured. Honestly, it's pretty good. I like Strike Zone a lot. Strike Zone is pretty damn good. But Strike Zone has a secret. As you see, I mentioned earlier that you can get chem strikes from care packages. Well, Strike Zone has a higher than average chance to get a chem strike from a care package. For a very specific reason. If Strike Zone gets chem striked, the map layout changes! All of the indoor areas are now... The map is the exact same latitude, so you can see the changes for yourself here. This entire middle section where the store was is now gone, right? You now need to walk around the perimeter of the destroyed store in order to cross this area. This section right here, which used to be impenetrable, is now an extra way to get into the store. Mid lane right here is still relatively the same. There's no more staircase here. This is all leveled. This is all level ground now. The staircases are just gone. This is all ground floor. Other than that, the layout remains relatively similar. But the layout is mentionable. And because of that, I think Strike Zone is really unique, but it's unique in the sense that it's really only a map that can exist in Ghost because of the field order system. Unless they decide to bring that back, there's not really going to be a way they can do something like Strike Zone again. Unless they have it just be timed, but I would hate that. That would be boring if it was just scheduled. That's one of the problems that Freefall had. So yeah, Strike Zone is absolutely one of the best maps in the series. It's a uniquely Ghost map, but it has all of Ghost's strengths. Up next, Sub-Zero, another DLC map. This takes place at a launch base at not a launch base, a marine base in Canada. This section right here involves the main building that you can go indoors right here, as well as a submarine top that you can walk across, which is located right here. It's right here. Yeah, here's the main building. Here's the submarine. That's the entryway that you can see. That's covered in red. You can close and open some of the doors here. I think right here, here, and here, which is pretty important. Let's start with this building since we're here. This section right here is a huge upstairs section. That is essentially only an upstairs section that can lead downwards over here and over here. This right here is a missile silo that you can get on top of to provide cover for this lane right here. And decent cover over here, but not too much. There's a Overwatch building right here that you can go inside of, which can provide entryways and exits here and here, as well as good engagement right here. You can walk across a little bit of this section right here, but mostly this section and all across this middle section right here. On top, outside, be careful because you're very open. There's an underground area that you can go into to go into the bottom section of this building that leads back over here, as well as back outside there. We already talked about the submarine, which is traversable a decent amount, as well as the area behind and around it. And this building, which also has decent cover to provide counter engagement here and here. I like this map's layout a lot. This map actually has a very good, very engaging layout. This map's unique field order, since it was a DLC map, are, how do I explain this? So you know how Sovereign just flooded the map with a bunch of smoke for no reason? Yeah, when this map does it, it spawns a bunch of fucking smoke monsters with glowing red eyes and bodies of mist that just hunt your opponents. I do mean smoke monsters. They are literally smoke monsters that just fucking kill people in the blizzard. What the fuck? It's pretty cool. Good job, Sub-Zero. Again, like, a lot of the base maps of this game were not the greatest. Like, they weren't. But man, the DLC maps were really good, honestly. Up next, Tremor. How many maps do we have left? We have, including this one, 4. Tremor takes place along the fault line, I think it's Texas. Yeah, because it's the wall. It's the campaign. It's where the wall is. Where there are constant earthquakes. That is this map's main thing. There are constant earthquakes happening that fuck with your vision. It's annoying as hell and I hate it. Let's talk about the map layout. This section right here is actually not traversable, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's just like the layout they decided to use. One team spawns here. Ghost side spawns here. Alright, let's talk about it. Mind you, the spawns, once again, most of the spawns are from Team Deathmatch. I really wish I had the Domination ones. I think the Domination spawns overall are better. But we'll talk about that later. Hold on. Let me clean my glasses a little bit. Alrighty. So, this map is actually decently, like, is mostly a mid and close range map. There's a little bit of building you can go in here, here, and here. All the ones around the center, on the other hand, are all mostly 2-floor, either close range on bottom or close range on top, but the top provides overwatch for the lanes that they view. So you get good view on this lane right here. The buildings here all provide good view on the middle right here, as well as outside arena areas like here, and same with this building right here. Honestly, the buildings are pretty good on this one. I don't find them too problematic. There's good ways to get in the inside from the bottom right here, to get up here, to get the counter view right here. Over here is like a destroyed truck area. This is also where B flag is on domination, which is why I want to talk about the different spawns, because instead of where they are, one team spawns here and the other team spawns here for domination, which I think is generally a better spawn. Yeah, this map's layout, honestly, there's lots of good interconnectedness from the bottom, going around, engaging. Decent, like, potential long range, but not overbearing long range, so it's mostly mid and close, which is pretty nice. Literally, the only thing annoying about this map are the fucking earthquakes. Honestly, other than that, I think this map is pretty good. Alright, 3 maps left. Unearthed. Alrighty, here is Unearthed. This takes place at a excavation site at a abandoned temple where they unearthed certain things. This map is a remake of Dome from Modern Warfare 3. And I gotta say, Dome is another one of those maps where every time people bring it back, everyone fucking complains about it. And it seems like one of those maps that no one fucking likes, but they keep bringing back. I don't know why. Because, yeah, Dome pretty much has the same problem that it always has. Whichever team spawns in this building usually wins because they have high ground. Why do they keep bringing this map back? So yeah, this map is Dome. That's basically it. There's not much to talk about otherwise, except for a couple of things. You see, the unique field order on this map is the thing that they unearthed. If you get the field order on this map, you will summon Seeker aliens from extinction that will suicide bomb opponents. That is one of the best map unique ones. Just straight up, it's cool. On top of that, this map has a very unique secret on it. You see, there's the crane in the middle of the map. But it has 3 support rigs attached to it. If you destroy those support rigs with explosives, you'll cause the platform connected to it to drop all the way down. And if you go on that platform, you can use that platform to travel across from this section to this section with a decent amount of height, which is honestly pretty cool. However, there's one other thing. There is a suitcase on the crane that has the Venom X launcher from Extinction. And it functions the exact same. You will shoot the grenade, you will detonate it whenever you want, it will basically kill whoever gets caught in it and leave behind an area of mist that will do damage. I think of Dome's additions, I think that makes this the best version of Dome, but Dome still is just not a great map, not gonna lie. Dome is just one of those maps where no one likes it, but we keep seeing it, and here's the best version of it, and I still don't think it's all that great, because it still has the same relative problems. Onwards for our last 2. Here we have Warhawk. Really quick, unquestionably, Warhawk is Ghost's best base game map. How do I know this? It's the only one that's been brought back in a few games. Just straight up. It has been in other games before. And it should be, because honestly, it's good. Right here, we have middle lane. We can see a tank, a destroyed section, and an unwalkable drugstore, but a back alley to sneak into. Mid lane is right here. It's right here is mid lane. here is that tank we see. The drugstore is right here. So, let's talk about why... Alright, let's talk about why this is the best base ghost map. Ghost spawns here, Federation spawns here. These spawns are perfect. Alternate spawns are for domination back here and back here where their flags are, which is also pretty good. Now, let's talk about the indoor areas first. Let's go top to bottom. There's a indoor building right here that's one floor. It has an entryway here, an exit window here, and an exit window here. This fence has leeway. You can watch people approaching from this lane. But this lane also has a back area behind here, so that you're not caught completely out of the open and get from people engaging here. You can get the jump on them if you sneak around right here, which is very good. There is a store here, which is normally closed, but you can grenade it open, no problem, which gives you a little bit of a extra building to walk through right here, and some exits windows right here behind this tank, which is pretty nice. There is this building right here, which is an upstairs-only drugstore, which we saw before. You can walk inside and get access to the top of this awning, as well as behind this building's shielding right here. This is good for engaging for this angle, for pretty much people coming out of the alleyways, because you can only really deal with one alleyway at a time, so you need to be careful because of the multitude of alleyways. It also leaves you open to the sniper spots. Yes, sniper spots. This game does... The long range is so good on this map that, yeah, you can snipe on this map to cover the entire mid lane from this store right here upstairs and this section right here upstairs. Yeah, there's actual window, like sniping window, like classic power position windows right here, which is really good. This truck right here is climbable if you want to jump up to get to the awnings and get people on the inside of the drugstore so that you're not just relegated to coming up from the bottom, which is, again, really good. Have you noticed that one of the most important things when it comes to Call of Duty and their maps layouts is having multiple entry and exit ways? That way, there is engagement and counter-engagement for people so that you're not just sitting in one spot, right? People need options, right? They have options to deal with how you approach things. Likewise, the rest of the alleyways here. There's a small one right here. There's a entryway into this bottom of this building, which has a bottom entryway, but of course has the upstairs that you can go up instead. There's a nice little staircase right here, or not staircase, ladder, my bad. Right here, which is very good, and a nice back building to, again, kind of get the juke and the jump on people going around back here instead of engaging from this lane. There's a semi right here with some sandbags and some open cover to deal with people coming out of here, but again, counter engagement. There's a nice little subway right here that you can go around. You can go through this building right here to try and engage people right here. There's the back alley right here with the gate that you can just knife open real quick to get through this way. This, honestly, I'm gonna be real. I think the reason this map feels so good is it feels like a Treyarch map. It feels like a classic 3-lane Treyarch map, and it's done very well. Like, this is a phenomenally designed map. And I hope to see it in more Call of Duties. And now, our final map. Whiteout. I forget where this is. I want to say Alaska, but I'm not sure. Let's double check. Yep, Alaska. How the fuck do I remember that? Okay, anyway. Onto this map's layout. So, this map is actually kind of interesting. The spot we see right here is of this totem pole and of this destroyed, frozen over boat, which is right here. That is what we are looking at, and here's the totem pole, so you get a good perspective of the map and the rest of it. All these sections right here with all these dots, this is a forest area. These are a lot of trees. There are several indoor cabins here, 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 here. You see all of them, which honestly have decent entry and exit ways across, especially this one, which has an entryway that lets you go up to the upper section right here, as well as like basement level windows that let you shoot people who are running across here, which is pretty handy. So it lets you deal with people who are up here without having to fully engage, which is nice. We have a middle tunnel right here that connects this section and this section. You can, of course, go around the long ways if you want to, but it's there. These bottom sections right here are frozen riverways, which you can walk across. Don't worry, no ice physics. Don't be afraid. Along the back sections right here with, again, these cabins and these elevated cliff sides. Not too elevated, though. Again, don't be too afraid. But yeah, this map is actually more long-range focused, but I feel like it's a healthier long-range focus than a lot of the other long-range focused maps. I feel like mid and close range still have a lot of engagement potential in the woods, and in the cabins, and in the cave, and in all the rocks going outside and around the cave. I still think there's still decent potential for other weapon types here. It's not just solely long range, because yeah, long range is pretty good spots. Inside cabins have good long range areas for the areas they are permitting. The boat and the cabin out here have good like long range engagement. It's good. But likewise, mid still has good maneuverability. Mid and close still have good maneuverability throughout the map, so they don't feel completely shafted, which is very nice. The map's unique field order does two things. It is called Satellite Crash. You will, assuming you're not playing Domination, and I say this because this is where one of the flags are, a satellite will crash out of the sky. Everyone near the satellite will basically get an EMP effect on their HUD. Their mini-map and HUD will like stop functioning the closer they get to the satellite. So basically everything in this area will start to get all staticky. It also does one other thing. Whichever team summoned it basically has a free level 1 SATCOM for the rest of the game, which stacks with the other SATCOMs, which I think is pretty neat. All in all, I think Whiteout is a good map. I do think it's a good map. And yeah, this is how I feel about the maps in Ghosts overall. Genuinely, not all the maps in this game are terrible. I can see a lot of the maps in this game being in future maps, no problem. Like, actually, like, genuinely, I think the hatred for this game is overblown. I really do. Ah! Here we go. But yeah. There we go. There's my tier list. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you'll come around for next time. Next time being Sunday, where you know what? Yeah, I'm committing to it. We're doing nothing but fighting games for next week. No particular reason, but fuck it. Let's go. Thank you. I am going to go eat and lay down now. Later!